Rain falls softly on the windshield, city lights blur into gold. Another midnight on this highway, another story left untold. I keep driving with no destination, following roads I barely know, trying to outrun the silence, but somehow it always shows. Every station plays a memory, every melody feels like you, every chorus pulls me backward to nights that felt so true. Your voice still lingers in the static between the songs and empty air, like a ghost hiding in the speakers, waiting for me somewhere. The dashboard glows against the darkness, the moon hangs low above the trees, and every mile I leave behind brings back another piece. I remember parking by the shoreline, watching waves beneath the stars, talking about forever, like forever wasn't far. Now forever feels like distance, measured by forgotten years, by sleepless nights and old reflections, and unspoken fears. Sometimes I think I see you walking through crowds beneath neon signs, but when I get a little closer, you're just another trick of my mind. The city sleeps but I keep moving, chasing shadows through the rain, trying to find a different ending to a story marked by pain. Streetlights flicker like old photographs, moments frozen in their glow, proof that some things fade away but never truly go. Your life still lives inside my memory, your eyes still haunt the rearview mirror, and every night without you here somehow makes them clearer. The horizon slowly brightens, morning starts to paint the sky, but even daylight cannot silence the reasons why I try. Because a part of me still listens for footsteps in the noise, for one more chance to hear your name among the city's voice. And though the road keeps stretching onward and years keep slipping through my hands, you'll always be that midnight signal I never fully understand, lost inside the radio waves, drifting through the atmosphere. The static never really leaves, as long as you're still here, not beside me, not before me, but somewhere hidden in the sound, like a frequency of old emotions that never settles down. So I'll keep driving through the darkness, past every place we've ever been, carrying your fading echo like a song that never ends. clouds rolled in without a warning. Just like the night you disappeared, the sky grew heavy over the city, like it was holding every tear. I walked the streets we used to wander, past every corner, every light, searching for pieces of a feeling that vanished somewhere in the night. The rain came down in silver rivers, covering names we used to know, but every drop upon my jacket felt like a memory letting go. You were the song behind the silence, the warmth inside the winter air, the reason ordinary moments became something rare. Now every window holds reflections of someone I can never reach, your shadow dancing in the distance, just beyond my fingertips. Silver rain keeps falling softly across the rooftops and the cars, washing over old emotions, but never reaching where you are. The city glows beneath the storm clouds, neon colors on the ground, and every light that shines around me feels a little dimmer now. I still remember conversations that lasted until morning came, the way you laughed at little things, the way you said my name. Time moves forward without asking, without caring what remains, but some hearts keep certain seasons like photographs inside their frames. I tried to fill the empty spaces with new faces and new roads, but every destination carried a little of your ghost. Echoes of a life that's settled down. Silver rain upon the pavement, silver rain against the glass, silver rain across the memories of a future that has passed. And though I know the road is changing and tomorrow waits ahead, part of me will always listen for the words we never said. So let the rain keep falling gently, let the sky release its pain, 'cause somewhere in every storm cloud I still find your name. The city wore its midnight colors, neon bleeding through the rain. We were just two restless souls trying to outrun the pain. You carried storms behind your smile, I carried silence in my chest. Neither of us had the answers, we were simply doing our best. The world outside kept moving faster, everyone chasing something new. But somehow every crowded street felt quieter with you. We found comfort in the small things, late night drives and corner stores, old songs playing through the speakers, while we dreamed of something more. We were beautiful in the dark, like stars nobody could see, lost between the shadows, but somehow still free. We were beautiful in the dark, when the world felt cold and far. Two broken hearts discovering how bright the scars can be. I remember rooftops in the summer, talking until the sky turned blue, watching airplanes cross the distance, imagining where they'd take us to. You always saw a better future, even when I couldn't try. You'd point toward the horizon and remind me to look up at the sky. The nights felt endless back then, like youth would never fade away, like we'd always have tomorrow, like time would choose to stay. But seasons change without permission, and people follow different roads. Life pulls gently at the pieces, until everyone lets go. I still pass familiar places where your laughter used to live, and sometimes for a fleeting second the years begin to give back every moment we once held, every dream we drew in air, every promise made at midnight, when we believed they'd take us somewhere. We were beautiful in the dark, not because we had it all, but because we found each other whenever night would fall. We were beautiful in the dark, before the world moved on, before goodbye became a memory, before the feeling was gone. Now the skyline looks different, new lights fill the avenue, but some parts of my heart remain exactly where I knew you. The moon still rises over rooftops, the rain still paints the streets with gold, and somewhere inside those reflections lives a story never old. Maybe love isn't measured by how long two people stay, maybe it's measured by the light they leave after they've walked away. And if I could relive one chapter from every year I've known, I'd choose those nights beneath the city lights, when neither of us felt tap softly on the window, like fingers from another time. The room is dark except for shadows and a fading yellow light. A cardboard box beside the closet, covered by a layer of dust, holding pieces of a lifetime and fragments of what once was us. I open it with careful hands, like something sacred, something rare. Old tickets, photographs and letters, still carrying traces of your air. The paper's worn around the edges, the ink has started fading too, but every word still feels alive, as if they're written new. Letters from the rain, falling through my mind tonight, like old echoes in the darkness, searching for the light. Letters from the rain, drifting through the years, washing over hidden memories and waking sleeping tears. Outside, the city disappears beneath the storm and silver skies, while inside every sentence brings another version of our lives. You wrote about the little things, the dreams we'd chase someday, the house beside the ocean, where we'd watch the waves. You wrote about forever, like forever had a name, like nothing in this world could touch us or ever make us change. The thunder rolls across the distance, like a song I've always known, and suddenly the years between us don't feel so long. I remember crowded train stations, late night talks in summer heat, the way we'd walk through sleeping neighborhoods without a destination to reach. Memory is a strange companion, it hides until the perfect hour, then returns with all its colors and all its power. Letters from the rain still whisper through the night, like unfinished conversations floating out of sight. Letters from the rain still carrying your voice across the distance and the silence, beyond every choice. The storm begins to lose its strength, the clouds start drifting west, but every page I turn reminds me of the life we love the best. Some people leave without returning, some doors close and stay that way, yet certain hearts keep finding reasons to visit yesterday. The first pale signs of morning appear beyond the glass, and I place the letters back inside, alongside the past. Not because I've stopped remembering, or because the feeling's gone, but because some stories survive without needing to go on. The rain fades into silence, the sky begins to clear, but somewhere in those written pages you'll always remain here, like
night is leaning in on the city like a secret nobody knows. Streetlights shimmer through the darkness while another cold wind blows. I walk the avenues alone now, past the places we once knew, and every corner holds a question that somehow leads to you. There was never one big ending, no final scene, no last goodbye, just distance growing little by little, like clouds across the sky. One day we stopped calling, one day the message is slow, and before either of us noticed, we were strangers on different roads. The things we never said still echo in my mind, like words suspended somewhere, frozen in time. The things we never said still linger in the air, like unfinished conversations waiting somewhere. I wonder if you ever think about it when the world is finally still, if old memories ever find you the way they always will. Maybe there were moments when you almost reached for your phone. Maybe there were nights like this one when you hated being alone. The moon hangs over empty rooftops, silver spilling on the street, and every passing shadow reminds me of someone I can't meet. I remember rainy afternoons, the smell of coffee in the air, the little things that seem so small, yet somehow still stay there. The way you'd smile before speaking, the way you'd stare into the sky, the way we'd sit without saying anything and somehow feel alive. Years can change the world around us, turn young hearts into old scars, but some memories stay untouched, like distant stars. The things we never said built a wall we couldn't see, brick by brick, silence growing between you and me. The things we never said are heavier than goodbye, because at least a goodbye explains the reason why. The city breathes beneath the midnight, cars drift slowly through the rain, and every light reflects a version of what could have remained. Maybe some stories aren't broken, maybe they simply fade away, not from lack of feeling, but from waiting one day too late. The first light of morning rises softly over distant hills. The world begins another chapter while my heart stands still. And if our paths should cross someday in some crowded place unknown, I wonder if we'd recognize somewhere quietly. Inside my heart.
The engine hums beneath the silence, headlights stretching down the road. Another night beneath the stars, carrying a familiar load. The city fades behind the mirror, the highway opens wide ahead, but every mile feels incomplete since the day you left. There's an empty passenger seat where your shadow used to stay, like the outline of a memory that never fades away. I still hear conversations floating softly through the air, jokes we told 100 times, as if you're sitting there. We used to drive without a reason, just chasing lights beyond the town. Windows open to the summer wind, music turned up loud. You talk about your dreams for hours, about places you'd someday see, and somehow every destination always felt complete. Now every road feels longer, every night a little cold. Every song reminds me of stories we never told. The dashboard glows like distant neon, painting colors on the glass, and every reflection brings me back to pieces of the past. The world keeps moving all around me, people come and people go, but some hearts leave a mark behind, deeper than they know. Empty passenger seat, still beside me every night, like a photograph untouched by time, hidden from the light. Empty passenger seat, holding everything we were, every dream and every promise, every whispered word. I stopped at places we once loved, just to see if something changed. But memories don't follow rules, they never stay contained. The gas station by the county line, the diner open after 2. Every place still knows a version of me that belonged to you. Sometimes I wonder where life took you, if your dreams all came alive, if you found the happiness you were always trying to find. The moon is hanging low tonight, watching over empty lanes, and somehow in its silver glow everything remains. Because distance changes landscapes, and years can change a name, but certain nights can still revive a long-forgotten flame. The horizon slowly brightens, morning waiting just ahead. Another night spent talking to the memories in my head. And though the road keeps calling toward places yet unseen, part of me stays traveling empty passenger seat, like a chapter never finished, like a song without an end, carrying your ghost beside me around every bend. The sun will rise tomorrow and the world will start again, but tonight it's just the highway and the space where you have been.
The sun goes down behind the skyline. Another evening starts to grow. The crowds are slowly disappearing, and the streets begin to slow. People close their doors behind them, turn off the lights and drift away. But night has always been the hour when my thoughts decide to stay. The city hums a little softer, like it's breathing in its sleep. And all the things I kept inside me rise back up from somewhere deep. I can hide them in the daylight, bury them beneath the noise, but darkness has a way of finding every wound I tried to avoid. When the city sleeps and the world falls quiet, I hear every memory like a distant siren. When the city sleeps and the streets are bare, I still find your shadow waiting everywhere.
There's a coffee shop on 7th Avenue, still open after midnight rain. The same place where we sat for hours before everything had changed. I pass it sometimes from a distance, never stopping, never near, 'cause some places hold too much of someone long after they disappear. The radio plays low beside me, a melody I've known for years, and somehow every single note still finds its way through all my fears. The moon hangs over empty rooftops, silver light across the town, like it's watching every lonely soul that nobody else has found. I've spent nights trying to forget you, and nights trying to understand why some people leave impressions that time cannot command. Maybe love becomes a language the heart remembers on its own, even after conversations turn to silence over time. When the city sleeps, I hear echoes through the dark, fragments of old promises still wandering through my heart. When the city sleeps, the truth becomes so clear. Some people leave
the sky. The darkness starts releasing everything it held inside. And once again I'll wear a smile like everybody else I see, while somewhere underneath the surface the night remains in me. Because the city always wakes up and life keeps moving as it should, but there are parts of us that linger in places where we stood. So if you ever think about me somewhere far from where I've been, know that every sleeping city still carries where we've been. And every night when silence falls and the stars appear above, I find you in the quiet spaces between memory and love.
Clock keeps moving through the darkness. Another sleepless night begins. Moonlight spilling through the curtains, like a movie I've seen again. There's an old photograph beside me, faded edges worn by time. Still it pulls me into places I thought I'd left behind. We were young enough to believe that every promise could survive, like nothing in this world could touch us, like love alone could keep us alive. Now the years have built their distance, like oceans stretching far and wide, but every wave still brings me pieces of the life we left behind. Paper moon memories floating through my mind tonight, hanging above forgotten seasons. I remember summer by the water, barefoot footsteps in the sand, watching sunsets paint the horizon with colors neither could understand. You'd lean your head against my shoulder and speak about the years ahead, as if tomorrow was a guarantee, as if goodbye could never be said. The city changes every season, new faces fill familiar streets, yet somehow every crowded corner still carries traces of your feet. I hear songs inside the coffee shops, songs we used to sing along to, and for a moment I forget the ending and believe those days are still true. Maybe memory is an artist, painting beauty over pain, softening every sharp-edged moment until only
every time we talk. Paper moon memories drifting through the midnight air, turning ordinary moments into something rare. Paper moon memories, never asking why, only visiting like old friends whenever stars fill up the sky. The night grows quiet all around me. The city settles into sleep, but somewhere in the space between us, the past is still awake in me. I know some roads aren't meant for returning, some doors close and stay that way. Still there are hearts that keep on carrying pieces of yesterday. And when the morning finally finds me breaking through the dark above, I'll leave these memories where they belong, inside the story of our love. Paper moon memories, glowing softly as they fade, like the final scene of a dream that never fully goes away. I took the long way home tonight, past roads I swore I'd never see. The city grew around the memories, but they were waiting there for me. The old cafe became an office, the movie theater lost its name. The places where we spent our summers don't really look the same. The trees are taller than I remember, the sidewalks cracked beneath the years, but every corner still holds echoes of laughter in my ears. And then I saw it through the darkness, the last light on your street, glowing softly through a window, like a heart that still could beat. For a second time stood still, the world faded from my sight, and every memory came running back with that lonely light. I remembered rainy afternoons and records spinning in your room, the way we talk about forever as evening filled with blue.
the plans we made without a doubt. Back when forever felt so simple, back before life figured us out. The years moved on without permission. People came and people left, but some names stay inside your chest long after all the rest. I've met strangers in crowded cities. I've watched entire seasons change. I've learned how quickly life can move and still somehow stay the same. Because every road leads somewhere, and every story finds an end. But there are chapters in our hearts that time can never bend. The night air carried distant music from somewhere further down the block, the kind of song we danced to slowly when the world forgot the clock. I stood there longer than I should have, watching shadows cross the floor, wondering if you still remember what we used to be before. Maybe you were somewhere laughing, maybe you had long moved on, maybe that light belonged to someone who never knew we'd gone. But memory doesn't ask for answers, it only asks to be felt. And sometimes one forgotten window can undo the cards you've dealt. The night grew colder all around me, the silence settled like the rain, and I realized some old feelings never truly fade away. So I turned back toward tomorrow, toward roads I couldn't see, carrying one small light behind me, like a piece of history. The last light on your street kept shining long after I was gone, like a reminder that some stories keep living when they're done.